Oh, that's a nice courtyard back there, down there.
Yeah. It's like connected to this.
Yeah.
It's the same building. So the only one that doesn't have a courtyard is that one down there.
Mm. Shouldn't we have practiced that before already?
No, that's the point of the interview. If we practice, then it's not real. I don't want you to be acting. I just want to ask you a question and then you just answer whatever's the top of your head. Do you feel like you can talk with that throat thing in?
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, it's bad, huh?
Yeah, it's really bad. You're coughing every 2 seconds.
I know.
Is it the pneumonia still?
No.
Seems like it's something bigger than whatever you're saying it is. It doesn't seem like allergies.
But it's not all the time.
It's been the whole time. When has it not been? When you're sleeping?
Yeah, it's not. Because the pneumonia is in my chest.
Yeah,
it's
but...
just my sinus. I
Oh,
didn't have that before.
okay.
I just started the sinus thing on, when we came in.
It's probably like a sinus infection. But have you been having like phlegm?
No. That's the thing, I can't
So
even
then
know
it's
what.
not
It's
an
nothing.
infection.
It's nothing. It's nothing blocked, but it's just my, once it's clogged, it just affects my voice.
But like you're coughing too.
Yeah, because it's drainage.
Oh, okay.
No, the pneumonia is, that was obvious. It's right here. And
Like
then
coughing?
I was coughing and then stuff was coming out.
Gross.
This was just coughing because I'm clearing my throat. It's draining.
Drink some water. Oh, because you put the spray, you don't want to...
Yeah. It's fine when I was walking around.
I think you just don't notice it when you're walking.
Yeah. I don't think probably not.
Yeah. Okay, should we get started?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to start with questions kind of about, like, your childhood.
Oh God. That.
So what was it like for you growing up with a lot of siblings and, like, girls and boys?
Yeah, it was the best. I mean, it didn't feel like, even though counting them, there's lots of people. It didn't feel like a lot of people to me because it just feels normal. That that's what you have is a big family, and being the youngest, I always felt like I'm the special one because I didn't have to do anything. Everybody did it for me, and I like that part. And yeah, so I didn't, because I didn't have anything else to compare it with.
Yeah.
Too. So I had my parents and all my brothers and sisters, and by the time I came along, I had nephews and nieces.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up with them too, not knowing they were my nieces and nephews. So normal upbringing.
Well, what do you think about, like, how you were raised versus brothers, though? Like, girls versus boys?
Well, it was obviously, in my own family, my mother always favored my brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So they were treated differently, and we were raised to respect our brothers too. And we do. To this day, we still do. But
Treated differently how?
I didn't, well, they, going places. Girls couldn't go, even though it's the same, like a dance, and like a dance on the island. The boys can go, with no questions, but the girls You have to do lots of things, extra chores. You have to beg in order to go. And but my brothers went whenever they were in and out, whenever, and but not the girls. But it was normal.
Right.
We didn't see it as all. I didn't see it as being they were being treated. I didn't see the difference. I just
Because it was
saw
so
it as
normal.
yeah. I just thought that's okay. That's how everything is supposed to be, and I didn't see it as anything against me being a girl. And like I said again, because me being the youngest, I was still being treated differently than my.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I was part of this. I was okay.
It was like the boys and then you.
Yeah.
And then I wonder how your older sisters.
Yeah, if Auntie Rhoda was here, we would have asked her.
A different
she
perspective.
would tell you everything. She would tell you she has her own perspective of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the thing is, even my brothers have a different perspective of it.
What do they think?
They liked it because they were the recipients of this good treatment, but at the same time, they were still being raised to treat us with respect. It was a mutual respect between siblings, and the elders. And my brothers were raised to treat us with respect. That was the big thing for my mother, is to treat each other with respect, especially in her case. Again, I'm just talking about in her
your family.
Anybody that she gave birth, you're supposed to respect each other, and she pushed that on us to if I gave birth to you, you respect each other, whether we have the same father, because we have here 12 of us with 3 dads, and we get along. Like the 3, 4, 5 older siblings have a different father than us, and but we get along because my mother insisted on that, but didn't insist. It just told us. Didn't you have to do it? Just told us.
Right.
I gave birth to this one. I gave birth to this one.
Well, that's pretty common, no?
Yeah.
Like just.
Yeah, but no. Because the thing is, because you see in other families, even in my cousin's family,
It's not the same.
the half brothers, they were treated. It is in my aunt's family, and the half brothers, they're not treated. They're not included. They're not included. So I saw that difference, and then I always do. Now I go back and I think about it. And it was because my mother made sure.
Yeah, she made it a priority.
Because even with her upbringing, even though she was, my grandparents gave birth to her, but she wasn't raised by she was raised by the chief of the island, because she was named after the chief of the island. So she was raised by them until she was 18, and then she came back in the family. But and she's the oldest. She's my grandfather's oldest child. She's always been honored as an oldest child. She blended right back into her own family, and there was no friction when she came back. So when she had children, she made sure that we all get along with each other, and it's easy. You've met some of my brothers and sisters, and I think you've met all of them, and it's easy to get along with them because each one of us I think each one of us carry something of my mother. So it's it's nice.
You talked a little bit about your mom being raised by another family, and that's a thing that happens. Can you talk more about that? Just like in the Cook Islands, other family members raising kids, like not just a nuclear family. It's not just mom, dad, and kids. It's other people are around raising kids.
There's always aunts and uncles or grandparents raising children, and they're called, or even when they're being raised by another family, they're not adopted
Yeah.
because there's no legal papers to say they're adopted. They're called a feeding child. You know, it just means that you ate meals over there
Yeah.
and then you came home. I mean, years down the road. Sometimes they never come back. They don't come back, but they've always been included. It's not
What
a
about
closed
like
door.
Nettie and Tichelle? Can you talk about them?
Oh, native to
I
shell.
feel like that's a good example.
Yeah, native to shell. You know, they're Auntie Roru's grandkids. Well, let's go back to their mother, to Api, your cousin Api. You know, when Api was born, her mother went to New Zealand. Auntie Roru went to New Zealand, left Api. Api was 8. No, Api was 15 months old, and I was 8. And my two brothers and I helped raise Api. We pretty much raised Api, so we regard her as our oldest child.
Yeah.
You know, to this day, she's in her 40s now. She's just turned 44, I think, and so we raised her, and then we left. Everybody left. You know, my brothers went to to Australia, New Zealand, and I came here, and then my niece Api stayed with my parents, and then she had her kids, Nettie and Tichelle, and with my grandparents, and they continued to raise them, and as their own. But even though it's not really their own, it's the whole family. Those two are the whole family's two kids, you know, because they don't have their, you know, my niece Api, you know, never married their fathers. They have two different fathers, but they were never seen as that. They were our children.
Yeah.
It was the whole family's children, those two. And now they have their own families. So they were raised by my parents until my parents died, and then they, you know, they have their own families now because they both have partners and have children, and they're raising their children on their own because my parents are gone. They're not in the house anymore. They're with their partners' families. But again, that's just a normal life to see them and to be involved, because everybody's pretty much involved in their upbringing. Those two, you know, because we all watched them grow up and watch my grandparents take care of them, and well, the thing is that because there was another niece who was helping raise them and took it out.
Yeah.
Because my two brothers and I raised Api and Api's brother and Tokera. You know, Tokera was one of Api was our oldest child, and then Tokera was our second oldest, and then you guys, you know, then our birth children. But those were our, you know, we still regard them as ours, and they regard us as part of them, you know. Like they don't call me, well, they call me auntie now because there are a lot of because their grandkids are calling me auntie. No, okay, you know, even though I'm not auntie to their grandkids, but you know, so yeah, those two. It's the upbringing of Tichelle and Nettie. It's typical life for grandkids or great grandkids being born with the grandparents. Because once they're born with them, you can't leave. You can't leave because grandparents always say, "You stay, bury me. You stay, bury me."
Yeah.
And they do, you know. And whether it's a good life or not, they're happy. You know, it's all like those two. When you see them, they're happy. Their life is nothing typical, you know, compared to our life, but they're happy.